Hello everyone, my name is Bill Bross and I'm a developer here at Veith Consulting. Today's video is going to cover how to make surveys within the event registration system. As you'll see on the screen, I'm at the main event registration landing page, which lists all of our events. To create or look at surveys that you've already created, you'll want to click the SVY link, and this shows up next to every single event here, you'll see here. Clicking that will take us to the main survey page for the event. And you can see you'll always be able to tell what event you're on right up here at the top of the page. From this page, you can either click here to add a new survey, or you can edit and do things to ones that you've already created. And down here at the very bottom, you can copy a survey from another event. So if you have a very similar survey that you make for pretty much all of your events, you can make it once and then just copy it, and just click copy on the event that you are on the survey that you want. And you'll see here it creates a copy for this event. And then we can just delete it from here. All right, so let's look at adding a new survey, which actually works the same way as editing. So we're going to go through that one instead, since this one already has data in it. So if we click here to edit, this will take us to the main information page about this survey. So on this page, you can give it the name, you can give it a description, and then here at the bottom, you can allow attendees to mark themselves as attended in the survey. If this is selected, when the attendee is taking the survey, a box will appear at the very bottom that will allow them to mark themselves as attended for the event or not. This is useful if you weren't taking very hard attendance at the event, but you want to kind of get feedback about how many people actually went. And this will update the checkbox in the attendee list for the event, the ones that only admins can mark as attended or not. So this gives the attendees a chance to do it as well as part of the survey. Moving on to the next page, this is where we create our questions that are going to show up in the survey. Now this works pretty much exactly the same way as it does in normal event registration when you set up your custom fields. So here you can either add a new question at the top of the page, or you can edit an existing one. So let's add a new question here just to show you the options you get. The first page here is going to ask you for the field type. So here you can choose what kind of question you want to create, whether it's a multiple choice, just a simple yes, no. We can create text fields. These are great for short entries where you just want a couple of words or two. We can create a multi-line text field. This is where you want a few sentences from somebody. Or we can do a 1 through 5 rating field. So we'll create a multiple choice question and continue. And you'll see here on this one, we just type in our question. So, how many events have you attended? And the number of selections allowed here, you can either put 0 if you want to let them select as many as they want, or you can say 2 here and they can select 2 different options or anything. So we're just going to leave it at 1 for now. And submit. And from this page, it takes us to where we create our options for the selection field. So this is, again, it's a multiple choice question that we've set up. And now we're going to create what those multiple choice ones are going to actually be. And for that, we click Add New Option. And the option name, we're going to put 1. And then we're going to add another option and say 2. And another option and say 3. So we can do this as much as we want here. And you see over here at the right, we can either edit these or we can remove them. And just like the other page, you can drag and drop these to resort them however you want to. We'll keep the ordering how you have set it. So we'll continue on past that. And so now you'll see here, we come back to the main page and we can either create a new question or we can edit existing ones. But they all work pretty much the same ways as the one we just did. So moving on past that, we come to the final page, and this is going to show you a preview of what the attendee is going to see when they actually take this survey. So you'll see here we've got all of the questions that we've created, and here's the one we actually just created here. And if that looks good and everything looks fine to you, you can continue on past that. And then this takes you to a page where you can either decide to go back to your main survey menu, or we can email the survey to the attendees. So that just gives you a quick link to go back there. We're going to go back to the survey menu, though, so I can show you all the other ones, and you can actually get to this email function from the survey menu. Okay, so now we're back here. We've already looked at adding and editing. We already saw deleting one when I created the copied one. We also have a copy function where you can directly copy a survey within the event. So if I like this one and I want to use it for something slightly different, I can hit copy here, and we'll say yes, we want to copy it. And then there we go. We have a copy of the attendee feedback one. So I'm just going to delete this here. But the idea behind that is you would copy one and then you'd go in and edit it and you'd make whatever small changes you wanted. But at least you wouldn't have to create everything from scratch all over again. And then the final function that we have over here is the email function. So this is how we're going to actually send this out to people and decide who gets it and who should fill it out. The very first option we have here when we set up the email is the send date. If you want to send this immediately, if you just want to create this and create all the attendees, and you just want to send it right after that, all you have to do is just leave it blank, and it'll be just perfectly fine. If you want to schedule it, so say I'm creating this the day, when I'm creating the event and everything, but people haven't even started to register, and I want to wait until after the event. In that case, I can pick a date and time when I want this to send out, and then it will only send out when it reaches that particular date and time. It's also set on the time zone settings based in your event registration configuration, so it will adjust itself automatically to whatever time zone you've got set up. We're just going to leave this blank for now. The sender, this is who it's going to show up as from when attendees receive it. And then we've also got the reply email, so it will show up as from this email, and it will also be if anyone replies to the survey email, that's who it will go to. We can set up the subject of the email here, and then we can set up the message. And you'll see here we've got these things called replacement keys at the side. Any of these will replace the block here with the particular attendee information of who we're sending it to. So if you wanted to say, Dear Bill, and you were sending this to me, that it would address it directly to me. And then the same with any of these other ones right here. So you can just copy and paste these into here and use them as sort of variable keys that will change when the email goes out. Down here at the bottom, we have include event and attendee registration summary. This is essentially the content of their confirmation email that includes, their billing stuff and, what they signed up for and all that kind of information. So if you just want to include that in the survey email, you can click here. And then this other option down here is automatically sent to all attendees. Now, on the next page here, you're going to see where we can pick individual attendees that we want to send it to. But if you just want to make sure that it goes to everyone, you can click this box right here and not worry about adding a bunch of attendees. This is particularly useful if you're scheduling the survey like we looked at up here and you don't have attendees added yet to the event. This will make sure that whenever the schedule date hits and it does send it out, it will automatically add everyone who was registered at the time to the survey email. So like I said, this is really great if you're trying to schedule it. All right, so going through here, the next page we can attach files to it. So all you have to do here is click Choose File, pick the file on your computer, and attach it. And you can add several of these if you want to. So if you want to make sure that they get like a map of the conference hall or anything like that, you can attach it here, and it will attach it to their email. Moving on past here, we can now pick our recipients. And if this looks familiar, it's very similar to how our broadcast email system works. So over here at the left, you can either pick individual members, and if you hold down the control button, you can select multiple people that are a part and say Add. And you'll see here now we have everyone over on the right side. You can also run a query. So if you want to say, I only want to send this to people who signed up for Tuesday's lunch for beef, then we can add people that way just by clicking Add Recipients by Query. And you'll see here all these different options are ones that show up within the event. So it's a great way if you just want to send it to particular people or people who only signed up for something. Over here at the right where we've got our recipient list, we can delete people just by clicking that. And then once people have started to fill out the survey or you've sent it, you can click to resend, or you can, up here it says clear sent flag. So once it's been sent to somebody, you can clear it after that. Or we can just quickly remove all people if we want to. And then just add anybody that we want to from there. And then moving on to the last page here, it's going to give you a summary. It's going to tell you when it's sending, so we chose to send it now. It's going to show you who is going to receive this, what the subject and the message are going to be. And then it's also letting you know that a link to complete the survey will automatically be included here at the bottom. And this link is encoded specifically for the recipient. So that means that the link is going to be unique to every single person, so I wouldn't be able to fill out someone else's survey and vice versa. And then any attachments that you've attached will be at the bottom right here. And then to send it, all you have to do is click here to send the message, and it will automatically send it if you've chose sending now, or it will mark it for scheduling if you've decided to schedule it. All right, so we'll go back out to the list here. The other main thing we have on these is reports. So for every single survey that you create, it will create a set of reports here based on who's received it. And then this isn't going to show much right now because I don't think we have anyone who's received it. But here it will list just raw numbers of who chose what things on here. The next one here, just go back. We can get individual respondents. So this one says that we've marked to send it to this person, but it's incomplete. They haven't completed it. So if you just want to look at people's progress on these, that's a good report to use. Individual responses right here, it will list the name of the person and then what they responded to each individual thing. So if you just want to take a look at one particular survey or one person's responses, this is a great way to do it. And then the graphs part right here, it will create a graph of each one of your questions for you. And you'll see right here, again, we have no information, but it will create these as graphs. And then you can also choose different types of graphs. So if you would rather have, a donut graph or a pie chart or things like that, you can switch from there. All right, that is pretty much everything that we have in the event survey system. I hope this video was helpful and have a great day. Thank you.